nice.
All right, 8 people. We can do this.
All right, we're live.
Boom.
Gotta do some
All right,
stretches,
everybody, get your stretches in.
Some comp stretches.
Comp stretch. Number one key to
Roll it.
everything.
Roll
Comp
it.
stretching.
Yep. Give it a good old roll. Oh, one side.
Oh, well,
Get
I
the.
mean, if we're going to do this, I guess we got to bring out the old Rango.
Yep, that's nice. That's nice. I'm doing a sitting Rango.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2.
It's nice. It's nice. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Happy Sunday.
Hey there.
Is it a holiday? It's not a holiday, right?
I don't know.
Happy regular Sunday.
Anymore.
Regular old
Sunday. Regular old Sunday.
Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining us here today. We're going to be talking about all sorts of different RC stuff. Yep, mostly the ongoing North versus South Utah RC crawling championship, and how it's going for us so far. But before that,
I feel like you should say that in like a jazz serenade voice.
I felt like that was a pretty good jazz serenade voice, was it not? Did it need to be better? Oh, man. Dang.
Yeah, you need to get all close to that stuff to really get it on.
It's like my NPR. See, the hard part is I've been drinking too much coffee this morning, so I can't get into a good NPR voice. Let's see if I can here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to High Noon, live at High Noon. I very much appreciate you all joining us here today. Discography by Sons of Crawl for this next hour on the show. And let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy some RC crawling goodness. Is that good?
Yeah, it was great. I was trying not to laugh too loud.
Good.
All right, now that we're done with our antics, we're just having a good old time in the saloon this morning.
Kenny, what's up? How's it going? It's good to see you in here. Ashley, good to see you in here as well. Chainsaw, I like the name. It's good. Good to see you in here. Ryan, good to see you as well. Thank you all for joining. We enjoy seeing people in the chat that we've seen before. So
I gotta ask Chainsaw, is it from the movie Summer School? And the kid's name was Chainsaw? I gotta ask you. You gotta tell me.
Okay, all right, that's good. See, you get all these references that I'm just not gonna. They're gonna go.
It's because I'm old, dude, and I watched way too many movies growing up.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, we could jump straight into the comp talk. I haven't 3D printed anything this week. Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I 3D printed something.
Okay. All right. Let's see what you got.
All right. So since there's a secret part we're not going to show, it's under development, safety stages, of course. But there's my new head.
Nice. Fantastic.
Little bender action.
I love it. That is magnificent.
You know, I liked how I even made it survive the little antenna still on his head.
The antenna's good. I was just about to say, I didn't see that when you showed it to me originally, and the antenna is a nice detail. I would not expect that to turn out as well as it did for a regular Ender 3v2.
30 cents I've spent on Colts.com.
Chainsaw says, never saw it, been climbing trees for 23 years. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's a pretty cool job. Honestly, I would like to know how much you enjoy that job, because it sounds like a cool job, but it also sounds kind of scary. But I did like radio tower installs, so I'm used to the heights aspect of it. It's just the tree limbs falling while you're also up there on the tree seems a little dangerous.
Quite a few friends of my old snowboarding crew and employees that I worked up with at the ski resort all went to a tree company, and that's what they do now. So it's some pretty crazy stuff. So I give it to you that, Chainsaw. I give it to you that.
That is very cool. All right, well, you topped me on the 3D printing for this week, although I did managed to actually, just before this show, I was already telling you because I was texting you that why I was running late. But I did get to go out and test out the ski ride, which I haven't gotten to really do yet. I finished printing it like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And then I immediately broke it. What did I do? How did I? Okay, let me
You
think.
broke it and made something better.
No, I got it. Yes. Okay, so I finished it and I took it out into my yard and I played with it for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes and I broke it. And when I broke it, it was not, I didn't really break it, but the screws that held down the steering servo, they basically pulled out of the holes that they were in, which very odd design choice for me that he used a ton of so he would, anywhere where there needed to be a structurally secure component, he would make you a little space in the back to put a nut, like pop a nut into the little groove, and then when you ran your bolt in on the other side, it would actually lock it down. And for some reason, he didn't do that for the steering servo component part of the frame. I think
the whole thing. That's the
of the whole thing, that was one of the very few parts that didn't have that support nut on the back, which seemed weird. So
did you put a stock servo in it, or did you put some?
Yeah, it's just like it's just like a Savox 1212 or something. It was like a very
nothing too crazy.
Nothing crazy by any means. And it pulled out, and because it didn't have nuts on the other side of it, and so
wait. What are we talking about?
Nuts. Nuts. So, anyways, the steering servo pulled out, and to secure it back in place, I decided to use super glue because I didn't have the patience to use like melt-in threads or something like that. And so I grabbed some super glue, super glued the bolts back in to the M3 screws back in, and then went on my merry way thinking that would be fine. The next day I wake up, go to play with the snowmobile, and the entire steering section of the frame is completely locked up because, of course, I use super glue, and the super glue, when I put the M3 screws into the holes, it made the super glue come out of the holes, and the super glue had to go somewhere, and it dripped down onto the steering components and locked everything up. Wow. So then I had to Dremel out the steering components, print new steering components, and replace them all. So I screwed up. It's totally on me, but that was my initial experience with the ski ride. So today, for the first time before this show, I got to go to the melting snow. There was not much left up there at the top of Immigration Canyon, but I went up there and I played around with it for a good 45 minutes, and it was a ton of fun. And then I lost a bolt, and I could have replaced the bolt, but I just decided
But you had me waiting here.
Yeah, I decided that was my excuse to go back down, and I was already running late because I was having way too much fun with it. So, yeah, here we are. That's my 3D printing story for the week. I don't have any new 3D printed parts, but I also didn't break anything on the Ski Ride 2 snowmobile. So if you're looking for a pretty resilient 1/5 scale 3D printing project to make a snowmobile, definitely check out the Ski Ride 2. It's pretty sweet.
We're going to have videos. He's going to make me make one. He already said we're going to print us one.
It's just
me. I have two printers. He has a printer. I'm sure we'll print it in a very fast manner.
Well, and here's the thing about the Ski Ride snowmobile that I will say as a little bit of a disclaimer for anyone who's interested in building one. You can't even if you wanted to, you couldn't really buy, I guess you could if you really tried, but it would be so much more expensive. Practically speaking, you cannot purchase all of the parts that you need in a quantity that would make just one. All the different bolts and nuts and threaded rod, and unless you have a very well-stocked hobby closet, which I'm sure many of the people watching potentially do have a well-stocked enough hobby closet to make something like this happen, because it's not a ton of crazy parts, but if you don't have like M2, M3, M5 nuts and bolts of all sorts of different lengths, and
well, the good thing is that you already bought all this stuff, so
well, that's what I'm saying is if you decide to go down the rabbit hole of making one, you are going to have enough parts to make at least two, practically. It's just that's the amount, that's the quantity of stuff that you have to purchase to make it work. But yeah, super cool. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm sure it's probably boring everyone to talk about the snowmobile when it's not even relevant anymore. I got it done at the end of April. I'll have the video of my snowmobile coming out in the beginning of summer. So, yay.
It's okay. That's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Anywho, let's talk about the comp season. How's it been going for you? First off, let's talk about this last set of courses. So this was the second Northern qualifier. We now are down to one more round of qualifications, the last round of qualifications. So the pressure's kind of on for me because I have not even qualified yet. I didn't even run in the first round of qualifiers. The second round of qualifiers, I have essentially eaten shit. And now here we are coming to the third round of qualifiers. And the truck is finally sort of dialed. And now I really have to be on my A game because everyone is definitely bringing their A game.
Yep. So I have not qualified either, but I will say I progressively gotten better.
Yes. We
First
both made a
round,
lot of
definitely.
changes. We didn't just
Both made a
leave
lot of
our
changes.
rigs exactly the same. To be fair, I
I
qualified last year.
Yes, and to be fair, last year I qualified in every single event.
Yeah, it's like
so insane. So let's just bring out the old big boy. I decided to bring out old secret weapon next time. Ron.
Yes.
Ron was not legal this year because I decided to play around with them, and the rails I had on before, I cut too short, and they were not legal because they were past the axle for Class 2 North versus South rules.
Right. They were cut. They were cut inside of the axle. To clarify,
they were cut inside the axle way too short.
Yeah.
So I decided to dig through my junk corner, as Alex saw earlier this morning, and pick out some pair 10-2 rails, and I swapped them. Let me say, when you beat the crap out of Ron, he strips screws everywhere and heads, so it was pretty fun unstripping about like 6 screws this morning on this rig to take the rails off and swap everything over. I can't wait. I love Ron. I know how to drive him really good. It's one of my rigs that I've had probably the longest, to tell you.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Very nice.
That is one thing I've done. Another thing I need to do is I've been running my G-Speed Deadbolt Ginger rig for the last about year now.
Mm-hmm.
Just ever since the end of North vs. South, I started running them. And I put on some extra weight in the front, and I think I need to take a little off.
Really? Put on too much?
I put on brass knuckles, or the steering knuckles.
Okay.
The SSD ones on my AR-45s.
Uh-huh.
And I already had brass outer covers too.
Uh-huh.
So it pretty much sealed it up to a giant piece of brass. And the brass knuckles weigh more than the brass outers. So I feel like I weighed too much down. Now I'm going to just take the brass outers off and have just a little more weight than I did before.
Okay.
You follow me there, everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, that will be a testing one because I don't know what rig I'm going to really run in the finals if I qualify.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much been doing that. small other little projects on some RC stuff. I've been working, and then I just kind of been went snowboarding yesterday.
Wow. All right. Okay.
So
How's the snow up there? Curious.
snow's not bad. It
Really?
was actually quite decent for what kind of day it was.
Hmm.
But we won't talk about snow. We don't need to talk about snow. We
I
all
mean,
don't want
I
snow.
started with talking about snow, so I kind of got
I
us in
know.
the snow mood. But no, I I do think Cameron Ginger Ninja RC, thank you for joining us as well. He says the competition has
And
stepped up a lot this year, especially in class 2, and I agree
I want to also
100%.
give a couple other call outs. We got RC and Wit with Friends. Hello, nothing like editing and listening to one of my favorite RC
Nice.
peeps.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
hey. And
Excited to see what you're editing.
the lovely Jennifer Pedersen, my wife,
Hello.
Mama Crawl coming in hot
The slut
with the
crawling
pink
mama.
high five.
Yes, I love it. And then RC and with friends also says I have gradually improved since last year. So I think that ties into what Cameron was saying. I think everyone has been improving since the start of the series, and even before the start of the series. Really, I think the last few years, the comp scene in our area has been starting to, and I wasn't even a part of it really to begin with. A lot of it was, I think, Luke kind of inspiring people with all sorts of cash comps. And that's Scumbag RC for those of you guys that don't know. I'm sure most do. But the comp scene has been gradually getting bigger and bigger. As that has happened, people have been getting better and better. And then this year in general, I think people got really excited about the North versus South, the second annual North versus South, and they really stepped their game up. And
And if you've
Cameron's
also
right;
noticed,
it's been big. It's been a big
you
step up.
noticed it's not a line of stock rigs no more.
No, exactly. That's everyone has been stepping up their game big time.
Yeah, everyone said, okay, well, I got to come with a real rig this time to even compete.
Really, the best
Which
way,
is
the biggest thing I think that demonstrates that is that you see it in the scores. The scores have gotten so much tighter this year. We are now seeing, I mean, you used to see huge gaps. You used to see gaps of 30 to 60 points in between players. And now you're seeing everyone kind of stacked within a couple of points of one another. And that, I think, in large part is due to that increased competition and the increased interest in the RC comp space. So it's definitely been fun to watch, I think. And you can tell through the content that I've been putting up on the channel of this year's runs versus last year's runs. Last year's runs looked a lot more relaxed. And honestly, we were running a tighter time, or we were running a longer timeline. So everyone was definitely more relaxed just in terms of how long it was taking them to get through the courses. But then I think the obstacles themselves were not as difficult last year, even in our practices, than they were this year. So yeah, definitely more intense.
I'm going to blame those dang guys that throw this comp because you know what? They just kept on crawling and crawling and more crawling this winter and summer and everything. And they just got better. So, of course, they're just going to put harder lines in for the rest of us.
Yep.
But that's okay.
That is okay. It's good. I want the competition to stay fierce. I think it's fun. It makes it's hard because it definitely. I mean, do you think that the series is as accessible for new people this year as it was last year?
I think it's more of a straightforward awakening, but still,
What does that mean?
every
Elaborate.
last year the gates weren't as hard. This year the gates are more excelled in how difficult they are.
Like complexity.
So
They're more complex.
yeah, complexity. So basically, it shows you what more of a structured, harder comp is going to be like, instead of more of a welcoming, like, hey, let's just have fun and throw a couple prizes. Now that we've kind of stepped it up, it's almost just kind of a bar set where, hey, this is kind of what the comp scene is. You're more than welcome to show up with whatever you'd like. But if you kind of look around, a lot of people have a lot of setup rigs. And so if you want to be competitive, that's kind of what you got to do. Because I've had a lot more people drive by with a stock TRX4 Bronco. And so maybe next time when I have something more set up, instead of like 12 of them in a row that I'm about to judge. And
Right. Okay.
they're all,
So
you know what I'm
so
kind of saying?
maybe in a way the culture is just as inclusive, right? It's still inviting everyone out to come and enjoy crawling on the rocks, and kind of like I think like Kenny was doing at the last competition, right? He was saying, I don't even really feel like competing. I just came out here to enjoy a day on the rocks with everyone. And I think that is some people's mentality. And especially if you've got a newcomer that looks at the gates and sees how difficult they are, maybe they're not going to decide to compete necessarily. But it doesn't mean that they're not feeling welcome to the group, and like everyone's there to help them and explain things to them, and help them figure out maybe how to put together a rig that's competitive, or how to just become a better driver so that they can stay competitive. But the people who are competing are a little bit more serious about it this year, and
Yes.
and so that. But I think at large that might be keeping some newcomers away a little bit more than it was last year. But that's just kind of the nature of competition too. I think you're going to
But
have, you can't, as much as you try, you're not going to be able to include everyone in a competition because not everyone
what
wants to compete.
what I think also is that you brought the number of people like average up, but we're just having those constant numbers because we have everybody from last year that really enjoyed it, and we have a lot of newcomers. I've still met a ton of new people every comp that they're like, oh, I've heard about this, and they're like, get their friends to come try it and things like that. So I think we're not getting like as many as last year,
Mm-hmm.
but we're getting a more average amount of people for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I mean the first events were a little bit bigger, and I think it's kind of been, um, it seems like it's been tapering off a little bit in terms of each event has had slightly fewer people. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just as people either, maybe as people qualify and they don't feel the need to come out to every single event. Uh, and then also as people see the difficulty of the courses and they decide that they're just not going to come out the next time. I think it's probably a combination of those two things. And the
But all
shorter
I
the
know is
shorter time limit, I'm definitely what Cameron said there. The shorter time limit is 100%. That's I think a huge contributor to people not coming out to a second event, which is fine. And it has, I will say, from the perspective of a guy who's going to go out to every single one of these events regardless, because I enjoy the events themselves. Obviously, I'm helping run them too. We're helping judge, we're helping kind of coordinate everything. Um, so it's not that we have an obligation necessarily to be there, but we feel a bit more obligated. Either way, I enjoy, because of that, in part because of that, I enjoy the shorter time limits because it gets people through the courses faster and it keeps the day a little bit shorter. We're not there from sun up until sundown watching people run. And I hate that makes it a little less inclusive for people, but I also think I have enjoyed the benefits that come along with the shorter time limit for sure.
I think it's great. It gets people through faster. You're almost kind of be able to do your runs close enough where you're not like, all right, I'm getting warmed up now. I got to go wait in a line for 2 hours. It's
Right.
something where they can run a
It's
course
running a little
and then
bit
they can run
faster.
the other course, and it definitely
Yep.
you kind of get the enthusiasm faster, and then you can move on with your day. You know, it's nice that we can get people through, and then other people show up a little later, and we just kind of all finish. I have noticed we have at least finished 2 to 3 hours earlier than every other comp, and this
Yep.
is also the first couple comps they were pushing. The last couple comps we haven't been like,
It hasn't been super on,
stern
but
as
and that's the thing. Like those first couple comps, we had, over what was it, over 80 people.
yep.
So the fact that we got through that many people, which last year we would have really struggled to get that through that many people in that period of
It would have
time,
easily been into like the 8 o'clock area,
right?
and then this
And we
year
were able
we've
to
been
get
finishing
it
before
done
3 or 4
and
o'clock.
announce the winners, announce the podium spots before, yeah, like you were saying, before 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So I'm definitely happy with that. Ryan saying he likes the courses this year. He also likes the shorter time limit. I think, Ryan, you're one of of those guys that's a very capable driver. So those types of things are going to definitely benefit the more competitive types. The people who are putting in the effort and they're taking the time to practice their driving, and they are just generally, more experienced drivers. I think they're going to benefit from the more difficult courses and from the shorter time limits. And he says the bigger the comp, the better the drivers. That also, I think that point stands. I think as we've been almost kind of sifting from one comp to the next, or from one qualifier to the next qualifier, right? You've kind of got this big pan of drivers, and you're sifting through tighter and tighter screens at every qualifier. And as you see that, the best drivers end up coming out, on top through that time. And I think that's what we're seeing. That we had much bigger numbers at the beginning, and now we're kind of sifting down to kind of the top qualifiers. And some of them, I mean, like, have you seen? Maybe he has been at other ones, but like, I'm pretty sure I saw Manny at the first event. I don't know if I've seen him at one since. Because it's drivers like that are just going to go qualify, and then it's like, okay, we'll see you guys at the finals, because they know that they're already in the competition.
There's been a couple guys like that, but then there's been a couple guys that have come back and ran the MOAs again just for fun, because it's a good time. They're already qualified and everything, but they also realize they don't really get the chance to compete as much. This neck of the woods, so to say. That's
what I enjoy about it. I just enjoy the whole action of going through and competing. To me is enjoyable. So not everyone's going to, people who have been competing for a long time, maybe they don't get that same, they're just there to compete.
I love the competition. I definitely hold some hard points on myself, and I kind of really get down on myself if not on my good runs, but I learn from every single one. I brought this point up to you earlier. Smart driving. Drive smart, and you will win smart. So, at the end of my second run on Class 2, there was a gnarly drop-off, and it went down into a gully.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went down in the gully, you basically were in branches and you were screwed. And every time I went down there, I was flipped upside down. And I only had to go through one more gate.
Mm-hmm.
If I did not finish, I would have just plus 15 points, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I decided to reposition 3 different times,
mm-hmm.
and still couldn't get the gate. So now that technically counts as another reposition in a way. So that's 60 points that I have added to my score on that one gate.
Right. If you did 3 repositions, because the reposition's 10, right?
Oh, I thought it was 15.
I think it's 10. So, but either way, you went from, you would go from 45 points down to 15 points if you would have just taken the single DNF gate.
I would have taken off 30 points off my score.
Right.
And I would have qualified the last
round
event, because I was only, I think, on top of my head, like 6 spots out.
I think, and like I was saying, the points are tight. We're talking a single point, maybe 2 between drivers.
Yeah.
So
that was the thing is that if I was driving smart and would have just slowed down and maybe realized after the second time that, like, hey, I should just wait for time to go out, take my points, take my whooping, but not keep on trying to just get a gate done, because it's my pride.
It's just thinking through things a little bit more when you're in the heat of the moment is difficult. It takes practice.
Do I want to win like that in a way?
I get what you're saying.
Down to it, but it's a smart way of thinking.
Yeah.
Why go back on the course?
You need to drive smart.
Ruin my run on one gate when I could be like, you know what? Last gate, I don't think my rig can do this, because that was the difference. Earlier I was talking about how heavily my front weights were on my rig, so it was just pulling me down too much and too fast.
Right. I think there's such a huge component of just thinking a little bit further ahead than the exact moment that you're in, right? A lot of drivers get tunnel visioned into exactly where they're at on the course, and they feel like they're just approaching it obstacle by obstacle, essentially. And it really does come down to pulling back a little bit and realizing that there's a whole course that you're trying to run, and you have to keep the whole course in mind to make the best decisions about how to score the best on that course. And that's going to change. It's like golfing, right? That's going to your the way that you're going to approach it is going to change as you are playing, right? If you get to the third or fourth hole and you're playing like shit on the long game, you're going to change your approach to the rest of the 9 holes or 18 holes. And a lot of times in RC crawling, we don't have that same mentality. We get to the third gate, and if we're crawling like shit, we don't take a step back and reassess how we're crawling. We just keep focusing on one thing at a time, and we keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. I think it is really important to like assess how you're doing the whole thing. Yeah, it's just because it's a 6-minute thing or an 8-minute thing doesn't mean that you can't break it down a little bit more and focus on the long game, because 8 minutes is a long time.
Drive smart.
It's a 1/10 scale rig. So think about 10 times 6 minutes is 60 minutes, right? That's 60 scale minutes you got there. You got to take advantage of the whole scale hour that you've got.
Scale hour. Oh, I can't.
Hey, it's a scale hour.
Start now. Scale hours. That's a scale minute you just took in my life.
6 seconds is a scale minute.
Like, will you just get on with it? That's a scale minute you just took of my life away, right there.
Cameron says the last Northern round will probably have the most attendance by far. I think that might be true because of the time of year. You've got a lot of people in the North who haven't been coming out because of the weather, and we might see a lot of people try to hit that final Northern qualifier since the weather's finally starting to get a little bit better. And yeah, and it's close. It's accessible, right? Chimney Rock is pretty close to everyone. So yeah, that could be. And then Ryan saying that he's been working on driving smarter as well. I think you gotta. That's like. I would say if there are 2 things that I would consider the most important about comp driving, it would be like driving smarter and then practicing so that you have the muscle memory. Because like what you were saying to me, I don't know if we were talking about it on the last live stream, how you don't have quite the muscle memory for 4-wheel steer yet. And it really is. Like as you drive 4-wheel steer more, you're going to become more attuned to it to the point where you don't even think about it. And if you have to think about it, it takes a lot of your thought away from how you're doing the obstacle, which is important. The steering, you shouldn't have to be thinking about it. You should be able to just kind of point your wheels where you want them to go and not have to be like, okay, what am I doing with my thumbs or whatever?
I feel like Ricky Bobby. I
don't know what to do with my thumbs. Well, I was thinking that we might want to, I don't know, I didn't run this by you beforehand.
Oh, dropping bombs. What you got? What do you got?
Well, maybe we want to, Dr. Maybe we want to find a run to watch.
Sure. What you got, dude? Glad you didn't record any of my stuff last time.
I know we could do mine, but that's rough.
It's all right. For somehow we're rough right next to each other. Last couple comps, it's been within a couple points of each other.
What do we got here? Do we want to watch a class 2, a class 3, or an MOA? Let's get a vote in the chat. Who wants to what? Can I make a? Here we go. Oh yeah. What class do you want to watch? Question mark.
Watch.
C2, C3, unlimited.
Dun, dun,
Ask. We're asking. Boom. All right.
dun.
Give me.
Wow, look at you stepping it up. I'm gonna vote too.
Oh, snap. Do I get to vote?
I think you do.
Let's see.
I
Well, I
voted.
guess I do because I'm not technically,
Hey, I voted.
I'm technically watching myself from a different account, I guess. Turn my volume down. Everyone who's in here, like this gosh dang stream while you're voting.
I'll tell you what, you better like it.
And I want votes here, everyone. I want all your input. Everyone give your
Okay.
input.
Come on, vote it up.
It's like what's the
I don't know where that vote thing went.
Everyone, while we're waiting for everyone to vote, I want you to take this stream, like it, hit the share button, share the link with your grandma and your mom, and tell them to send it to the whole family. All right? That's what we're doing right now. I'm going to do it with you. I'm pressing the share button. I'm typing mom and grandma. And we're putting
Think
the
we're going
link in there.
That's C2, bud.
Yep, got the Hit this and get that and do this and say hi to your mom.
Ninja, ninja. Shall we play a game?
Join the. All right, I sent it to all your moms. All right. Thank you all for voting. Wow, definitely a lot of C2 for sure. You're right. I think that's what we're watching.
Ryan says he wants an average run.
Find a run of someone average.
What does that mean, Ryan? What does that entail?
Is that like me? I did pretty terribly. I almost feel like Logan probably stopped filming me because of how badly I did.
I wonder if you do that for me sometimes too.
I usually stick with it because there's always something to be learned. All right, well, we can watch my run. I mean, my run is pretty bad.
Sure. You want us to watch your
There's plenty to learn. All right, we'll do it. C2 run, just what y'all want. I'm going to end the poll. Thank you all for voting. This is a democratic stream, and I appreciate everyone's input. Everyone has a vote here.
And it's just like the US of A, only some of us voted.
Only some of your votes counted. Oh,
no, they all counted, just some of us voted.
Okay. Gonna move this over here. Sorry. Technical things in progress. Going to.
Send stickers to everybody to say I voted. I voted on
yes. Let's see if this is the right one. Is this gonna? Ooh, what the dang heck? What?
What in heckin' dang?
What in the dang and heckin'? Talking. Okay, that's not what we're looking for here. Let's see if we can. Woo wee! All right, beautiful, beautiful. We're gonna transition this. I'm gonna turn myself down just a hair. Sorry, everyone. I feel like I've been too loud this whole time. Still too loud. Gonna turn myself down even more. Check, 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 check. Mike, will you talk? Check, 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 check. Mike, talk to me.
Hi, how you doing?
There we go. That's beautiful. I'm gonna tone myself down even more.
Absolutely beautiful.
Okay. Let's go to this one. Ha! I'm so good at this.
You see this guy? He's good.
All right. Hopefully that minimizing that program didn't ruin everything. It looks good to me. Does everyone see what we're talking about here? See this goober?
Oh, Gubenstein.
All right, everyone. Let's break down a run live, shall we? Let's make it bad. So that we really have to focus on what we're looking at.
Oh, let's really.
And we can't just
focus on
say, oh, wow, that was so good, and that was so good, and that was so good, and now the run's over. We're going to have to really pay attention here. Everyone have their clipboards out so that they can mark how many points this shitty-ass driver got.
Are we talking about you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, wow, I hope you're not talking about just some random dude that way.
No, this is me. All right. We have our pen and paper so we can jot down notes here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What do you do? It
Let's
sounds
just
like
get
you're
this
doing
on.
paper
Let's
mache over there.
I'm getting ready for our
Okay,
next
wait.
segment. Or my next show.
Starting at 3 seconds. Okay.
Oh, look at that pose, dude.
And
I
this
feel
is
like
the more
he's
difficult.
Ready to take on the nation.
This is the more difficult course, I felt like, too. So let's see how this goes for this driver. It's a terrible, terrible driver. Couldn't quite make this turn, but I'm going to try to push it as close to that upper cone as I possibly can before I take my reverse. So let's do reverse 1. Logan is giving me a little bit of spotting advice on this one, so I'm getting advice from the more knowledgeable person. The person that I would want advice from on this course would probably be Logan, and he was giving me advice, and I still managed to screw it up. So
I didn't have too much problem with that part.
with that part right there,
Yeah, the 2 gates. I mean, I did the same move you did.
yeah, I mean this whole spot here wasn't too tough, but I don't know. I feel like I
You
like
share
I
your screen,
need.
or do I have to watch this on YouTube?
Oh, sorry, dude. Hold on. Let's pause.
Pausing.
We're 1 minute and 20 seconds into the run. For anyone who's wondering, I'm gonna share this.
There we go.
All right. And restart.
There we go.
Gate 3 was kind of one that you just had to enter really high on. That wasn't too bad. I actually am sad I didn't hit this bonus because I hit it after I ran this course and I got it perfectly.
Nice.
Second reverse. But I didn't end up hitting it while I actually on the run that counted, so. And this was the beginning of my downfall.
I will tell you, I really like your paint job this year. I think it's hilarious.
Thank you, the student
It's,
driver.
like, absolutely perfect. I think next year you should keep the yellow theme and just go full taxi. Because student drivers go straight to taxiing, right?
True. There you go. The bummer about dropping off right there, I saw quite a few people do it, actually. I wasn't the only one that I saw do it, but you basically had to run the other gates again. That took so much of my time.
Yeah. You know, one thing I've realized with this year's comp is that the shorter time does make it so the gates are a little closer, and you don't have a lot of that wide open, space where some people go slow or they run, and it's just kind of like more direct, like gate.
Right.
I kind of like that more. It's just kind of keeps everything centered.
And again.
At least you didn't go all the way down.
Third reverse. I'm trying the wall now to see if I can bypass those gates. I was able to bypass the gates, which I should have done the first time, but I didn't think I could do it. Now my body's popped out of my sliders, which tends to happen with this magnet mount situation, and so it really just screws me up. Dustin was judging me, so he came down to give me his foot really quickly, but I ended up just kind of doing a fake land anchor there. Luckily, in these courses, it doesn't matter.
Uh-oh. My headphones are about to die.
Uh-oh. So that winch, so we did a winch. was really to save time, but I don't know if it ended up saving me time because of how much time it took me to deal with that reeling the winch back in situation.
Mm-hmm.
4 coming down or coming up through 4 from the bottom was actually pretty easy, so I'm glad that I made that decision. Another reverse, just trying to save time here at this point. This bush was really screwy. Had to watch the bush for sure. But that wasn't too difficult of a gate. Gonna probably take the reverse. Yep. Again, trying to save time, but adding lots of points to my score, so I don't know. Again, I'm getting tunnel visioned here to the point where I'm not setting myself up for that next move. It was a decent reverse save, though. Now I'm trying to... I know I want to winch, but even Logan just said it to me in real time. He said, you need to set yourself up better than that. So now I'm up to 6 reverses on this run. I'm set up okay for this gate, not perfectly. I just give myself a winch hook. I'm driving with my mouth right now. You can't see it underneath my hat. That
Can
was
you hear
just
me?
for efficiency. Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So another winch. That's 2 winches. Just trying to get through as many gates as I possibly can at this point. We're at 5:13, so technically 5:10 into the run. So I've got I'm about to have 40 seconds left now, essentially. This is I would say this is one of my biggest problems with this truck is I have created a fair lead out of a coat hanger, and sometimes it does hook on things, like right there. It hooked on things. I'm trying to winch through this gate, but I really don't have the time to be doing this.
The old mouth winch. I love it.
19 seconds left. The third winch. Like 10, 12 seconds, he's saying. And we're going for a drop.
See, that's the goalie.
I'm calling it there. I'm calling it right there. So what did I get through?
You were the smart one.
Well, I don't know, because I DNF'd on 3 more gates there, right? Because this is 8, 9, and 10 was down there.
I thought you just did 10. Oh, yeah.
So I DNF'd on... I DNF'd after gate 7. I should not have taken that last winch. So I had... 1, 2, 3. So I had 6 reverses. I had 3 winches. So that's 15 in this season. And I had 3 DNFs. So that's 45. So in total, that is a 66-point course. And most of those, if I would have just not taken... See, the hard part is just how much time I took with both of those falls down to the bottom.
Yep.
And the first time that I climbed up the wall, if I would have bypassed the gates and gone the direction that I went the second time I went back up that wall, I could have saved myself probably 30, 45 seconds. And that would have been all that I needed to get through those gates. That would have taken me from a 66-point course down to a 21-point course. And 21 points would have been a qualifying score. So, in the first course that, not this one, but the first course that I ran that's down in this lower section, if I would have, let's see here. Let's bring us back to the face cam. Sorry, everyone. I ran that course again as well. An error occurred. Don't worry. If you were streaming or recording, this is still happening in the background. Wherever we can relaunch. However, this will end. Click the yes button to keep streaming recording. Click the no button to stop streaming recording. I want to keep streaming. Yes. Everyone see your stream recording session is still running in the background? Whenever, click the OK button below to end your stream. Okay, well that's fun, isn't it, everyone? It's a good thing that we're coming up on an hour because I can't change it back to our face cam now.
Oh, that's nice.
I could do another. I'll just throw another run up here. Let's do that. Oh, except this thing is going to be in the way. I'll move this over here. And then I'm going to open these are. This is the lower course, I think. Yeah, this is the lower course. So this will give us a good demonstration of the lower course. Either way, yeah. What was I saying before everything went to shit? Oh, I redid the lower course as well. And when I redid the lower course, I went from I think I got a 45 the first time I ran it, and I went down to a -2. So smart driving. If you can just drive a little bit smarter, I would have not only been a qualifying score, but I would have been a competitive score if I would have just driven just a little bit smarter. Okay, we're going to watch Andy drive through the lower course. This is the one that I got a 45 on. I don't know how Andy did here, so I think he did pretty well. I just don't know. And I'm, as per usual, I'm a little bit late on the getting to Andy on this one. But this is gate 1.
And play. Share stream.
Oh, yeah. Share this. There you go, bud.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Yeah. Gate 2 wasn't particularly difficult, I didn't think. It was really just the exit and making sure you kept up your wheel speed down that little hill. And then taking the turn tight, or if you knew you weren't going to make the turn, making sure to make a big loop. But those were the only difficult parts about Gate 2. Gate 3 was a toughie, because you kind of had to go through this V-notch, and then you had to catch a real gnarly hook on the far passenger side of this gate, and so it didn't really look... It didn't look
it's
like
how
there was
people's
any...
rigs were set up, too. Some people I watched bump it and walk right up it. You just couldn't let your bottom tires fully dig into the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I basically did
caught
what
up.
Andy just did right there. I kind of just searched for that hook with the front passenger tire, and it wasn't too bad.
Yep.
But it was a lot about how your rig was set up. Flipping around, a nice flip for gate number 3. Now this is, or gate 4 here. This is where things started to go south for me.
See, and the move was to not take it so wide, but more to take it straight on over that rock.
Yep, which is Andy did. Andy just demonstrated that beautifully. That was perfect. Fixing up the cone for gate 5. Now I just sent it through this gate. I just gave her the beans. And unfortunately, I didn't really look where I was going when I gave her the beans, so Brian told me that I ended up actually sending it kind of over one of the cones, that the number 5 cone, kind of like what Andy did there, but I didn't hit the gate, but I flew over it, and so I ended up getting the gate on that one. Andy doesn't want the bonus. I also didn't go for the bonus. Looking back on it, that actually wasn't too difficult of a bonus. If your truck's set up okay, I probably could have made it through that one. Probably should have tried, but I think Andy would have very easily made it through that bonus. I'm sad that he didn't try. It looked harder than it actually was. But Andy made gate 6 look pretty dang easy there. Now he's got to go up, flip around. 7 and 8 are both down right here. He is cutting it pretty close. He probably should have taken it a bit wider. Is he going to take a reverse? I think he should take the reverse. Wow. Oh, taps it with the rear. I think that wouldn't have happened. I think if he took the reverse, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Still good though.
Those
Still good.
gates weren't too bad.
No, they really weren't. You just had to be squared to it and give it a little wheel speed. Okay, so that was 7 and 8. We got 9 and 10 with one more bonus remaining, and he's only taken like 3 minutes here. 4 minutes, probably closer to 4 because I came in a little bit late.
This gate was a little tricky.
This was a little bit tough. You really just had to snake your way through it. Exactly what he just did there. You kind of stuck to the pass, or you stuck to the driver's side on the first bit, and then you stuck to the passenger side on the second bit. And yeah, it really wasn't too eventful. Andy's rig is pretty dialed here, though. He's doing very well.
It is. And I felt like this is almost like a gate than more of a bonus on this one.
So far Andy's hit 2 gates, and I think if he squared up to that the two descending gates there, 7 and 8. I don't think he would have hit 7. And on number 5, I think if he took just a little bit more time, he wouldn't have hit number 5. So I think he could have had a perfect score, but nonetheless, this is a very good run, honestly. Even for hitting 2 gates, this is a very good run. Oh, man. Did I just lose Discord, too? I think I just lost Discord. Are you there? I think I lost Mike. Let's see. Everything's breaking. This is my computer telling me that it can't handle. It can't handle it. Hello.
Okay, hi. I didn't know what was
this
going
is
on.
my computer
We're
telling
still
me
live
that
or not?
This is my computer telling me that I can't do it. It can't keep up. Pop out. There we go. No, I think the stream's still going. Stream's still fine.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Sharing my screen with you now. Oh, well, that was the end of the run. I want to watch the last little bit because I didn't actually get to see it. Everyone else, sorry, but we didn't get to watch this. Yeah, it's about here.
Yeah, and I thought this gate was just kind of like more
this
of a
bonus
gate
was
than
pretty
a
easy.
Bonus.
Yeah.
I remember doing this in some 801 events, and I think that's where they took it from.
That gate is an 801 gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too difficult, but the exit there is still takes some strategy.
Yep, it was about staying up on the ridge for sure.
Yeah, he did it very well. He diffed out there, but really that was kind of the move. I mean, you either straddled it perfectly, or if you got into the situation where your diff was already hanging on it, then you just rode it out like that, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Logan, good to see you here.
One...
You are very late, sir, but that's okay. Everything on my computer is breaking, so you... it's just been one of those days. Now, this is a rough approach. I took this much more straight on, but he makes it through. No main drama, no big drama there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a clean run.
It
was good.
You just had to make sure that last gate you weren't completely straight on. You just had a little more of a tire to push into the wall.
Right. Let's see. Stop streaming that.
Hey.
Well, I wish I could turn it back to our face cameras, but if I hit OK on this, it just restarts my streaming application, and then we lose everyone. At least for now, we're still going on one stream. And we've had some technical difficulties this time, Logan. You missed all of the fun brokenness of my computer.
They can still see us really small.
Yeah, we're down here in the corner. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
if you have the pause button
here,
up,
not the code.
If you scroll over the video, you might not see us because the pause button will come over our faces. But if you if you just leave it alone, we're in here in the corner.
Hi.
Well, I mean, we made it to the hour. I hope that everyone enjoyed the two live run breakdowns. I honestly, I'm not. I said it even after that run. I'm not. I am proud of that run. Like, I didn't do terribly. It's just all the points got stacked up at the end of that run because I ran out of time. I should have been factoring time a little bit more, but honestly, a big part of why I ran out of time was because I fell down that frickin' cliff face 2 different times. If I didn't fall down the cliff face 2 separate times, I would have been fine. I think I would have made it through the rest of that. Yeah, it was those darn rascal rapscallion kids. if it weren't for those meddling kids, I would have made it. But no, I thought I did all right. I think I will qualify next time. The rig is feeling more dialed. I think I'm going to have time this week to ditch the magnet mounts, which is the only thing left to do.
If not, I'm just bringing a reamer with me, and we're just going to do it at the comp.
Yeah. Dropping I liked the Harley Designs cage in the body, but it was adding too much weight up top, so dropping that was definitely the right move.
But by the way, that's still in the back of my little toolbox, in the back of my truck.
Good to know. Yes, I will grab that from you. And I think the only other thing is I need to do a little bit of tuning on the suspension. But without the cage in there, it's definitely not as noticeable. It's a lot more drivable. So I think with that, I will have a competitive enough rig to place in one of these next 2 qualifiers. We shall see. I think both of us will place and we'll be good, and we'll be qualified and ready for the actual finals. If not, we'll still be there.
We'll still be there.
We'll still be there anyways.
And just wish we were competing.
Yeah, that was both of those Class 2 courses in Wendover were pretty interesting. They were pretty good courses. Not easy, not too tough, but challenging. Fun, very fun.
All right.
You have any other thoughts there? Any closing thoughts in that big old brain of yours?
Oh, the big old dome. It's a small little dome right now. Let's look at this little picture down there. Closing thoughts are I can't wait for the next cup. It's going to be fun. It's always good to see the faces and stuff.
Definitely, if you have the chance, make it to this next Southern qualifier is going to be great. It's going to be 3 peaks. So this is the finals. Yeah, this is the finals location from last year, and I very much enjoyed this location. So I'm going to be trying to, if I can, this is going to be a tough month to get extra days off, but we're going to do our best, and we're going to try to make a longer trip down to 3 Peaks so we can really enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Try to make it if you can.
We're going to just do the regular old sign off since you can't
really see our faces too much.
So thanks for stopping
Thanks for joining us. I love that all of you, I don't really understand why, but all of you joined us at the very end. We have like almost 20 concurrent viewers now. I appreciate y'all joining us here at the very end. If you didn't catch everything that happened during this whole live stream, go back, watch it again, make sure to like it, subscribe to High Noon Hobby for more content every single week. And after you're done watching this, go out, enjoy some Sunday crawling or some Sunday snowmobiling or some Sunday whatever you want to do. But get outside. Enjoy some outside time.
Sunday.
Some Sunday sun. There we go. Logan St. Jeff and I will be there on Thursday. Well. Yes, if I can make it down there on Thursday, that's the hope. My goal is to be making it down there on Thursday or even Wednesday if I can, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make Wednesday happen. But Thursday, maybe. Thank you for the congratulations on 3K. Yeah, I didn't even really realize that had happened. To everyone that's on here, thank you very much if you are subscribed for over 3,000 subscribers. I was going to make a whole big deal out of it and do another like big giveaway, and then it just kind of happened underneath my nose. I didn't even realize it was happening, and it did. But yeah,
we can do another. Let's do a giveaway.
Hey, we'll do it. We'll do a little something. I was thinking we could involve some of the new. Oh, we didn't even talk about the new thing that's happening.
Well, we'll bring it up next time when everybody can see it much clearer.
There's a new thing happening, and it's gonna be you won't be able to sell. Good point. They can't even see it. There's a lot of things in the works. There's a lot of things in the development chambers right now. I already sent in the order for that thing that you paid me for. Those are on the way as well. We got a lot of fun things happening right now. It's actually a pretty exciting time. I just haven't been really talking about it on the channel at all. But that's going to be even cooler. It's going to be like a big surprise, all sorts of cool surprise things happening. But yeah, maybe we can involve all of this other stuff. We can like weave it all together into one like thing.
The Muse has had ideas lately. Yes, I got some things to run by you.
I like it. All right, everyone.
All right.
Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy High Noon at High Noon Sunday streaming to you. And now go forth and have a wonderful day. Or if you just got here, go back to the beginning and watch the whole thing because we actually had some good moments. We do that from time to time. Not the whole thing, but occasionally. All right, guys. Bye-bye. I can't end it because I don't have a application. I'm going to press OK here and see if that ends it. It says your stream recording session still running in the background. Whenever you're ready, click the OK button to end your stream and relaunch the application.
Okay.
We're going to give it a go.